It's great to be here with the Speaker and the Senate President, members of the General Assembly, to sign the Mark Christofoli Economic Development Act into law. I'll keep it brief because the day is about one thing. It's about jobs and how important jobs are to Rhode Island, how important good paying jobs are to Rhode Island. This legislation represents $250 million in economic development. That includes securing 1,100 well-paying jobs right here in the state of Rhode Island. Let me say again, because of this legislation, we will keep 1,100 good-paying jobs right here in the state of Rhode Island. Now, I know today's a day long time coming. Certainly, I know I have friends that are sitting up here that I've had conversations with before I was governor, but the agreement reached today and the legislation that I will sign today has been dramatically improved since it was first introduced. And I want to thank specifically the Speaker for his leadership on this issue. I want to recognize Mark and the Bally's team and thank him and Jay and the IGT team for their confidence and commitment in the state of Rhode Island. Before I turn it over to the Speaker, I want to conclude by sharing with you the latest news out of Moody's, which is good news for the state of Rhode Island. We normally have this first in, last out of economic downturns. Today is a step forward to make sure that we are not the first in, last in, and then when we get into an economic downturn, we're first out. Moody's Analytics has created a back to normal index. The index shows which states are closest to their pre-pandemic economics and economies. The index looks over 30 economic indicators. Rhode Island is ranked #1 in the Northeast for its rankings on this index. So in case you're wondering where Massachusetts and Connecticut are, which are certainly our competitors, they are 48th and 6th and 18th respectively. So we're doing very well, and I give a lot of shout outs to everybody who got the shots in the arm. So if you haven't got the shots in the arms, this is the time to do it. Right, we're approaching 75% of first shots in the arms in the state of Rhode Island. I said just tongue in cheek, I did a back of the napkin calculation. I think we can get to 90% by Labor Day, and we need everybody to come in on that and make sure that that happens. I get to turn it over now to the Senate President, whose leadership was key in enhancing this proposal. Senate President, please come up and say a few words, and thank you for your leadership.
Thank you very much, Governor, and it's great to see a crowd of this magnitude here for this very special event. This didn't just happen overnight. This started in around June in 2019 when Senator Bill Connolly was the chair of the Senate Finance Committee. They took approximately 26 hours of testimony during the summer and the fall of that year. And then they crafted a piece of legislation that I thought was a very good piece, and that was the foundation for the legislation that we have today. After that, we will still continue to work on the legislation, and there was a transition. And Senator Ryan Pearson became the chair of the Senate Finance Committee. And he extended what was already accomplished by Senator Connolly and made it a much better bill. As the governor said, a lot of credit goes to the Speaker of the House, who enhanced the legislation that is going to be signed today. So I want to really acknowledge and thank our Speaker, Joseph Shekarchi, for the tremendous job that he did on this piece of legislation. As the governor said, this guarantees 1,100 jobs are going to stay in Rhode Island. It also guarantees more jobs at Twin River. It also guarantees that both of these groups were going to be headquartered to some extent in the state of Rhode Island and in Providence. It requires Bally's, a Fortune 500 company, to invest $100 million in including a 50,000 square foot expansion at Lincoln. And it also protects Rhode Island's third largest source of revenue. These are guarantees and protection for the state that simply would not be possible to secure through a bid process. And they are great for Rhode Island. I need to express my tremendous gratitude to all the members of the Senate Finance Committee and all the members of the Senate Chamber for their consideration of this legislation. I want to recognize the presence of Chairman Ryan Pearson, who is here today. Ryan, thank you. You've done a tremendous job on this particular issue, and I know it was not an easy issue. I'm certainly grateful to Bally's for their strong partnership, and it's very nice to see my friend, Mark Christofouli, here today. Finally, I want to acknowledge the leadership of Governor McKee and former Governor Raimondo, and the hard-working professionals in the administration, particularly at the Department of Revenue and the Division of the Lottery. I want to thank you all for being here today, and it is my pleasure to introduce my counterpart, my colleague in the General Assembly, and my friend, Speaker Joseph Shekarchi.
Thank you, Mr. President, Governor, honored guest. It's a beautiful day in so many ways here in Rhode Island. Not only is the weather beautiful, our good friend Mark Christofouli was able to join us today. Mark has been a driving force in gaming in Rhode Island for over 2 decades. And this is the culmination of your work, Mark, and previously for IGT, and now for Bally's. The governor said it, the Senate President said it, 2 great Fortune 500 companies based in Rhode Island that will be here for at least 20 more years, who will continue to grow. The better you do, the better the state does. So we're proud to have you as good corporate citizens, and we wish you much success. Thank you. Yes. I'd like to recognize in the House, it takes a team effort, and I have part of my team here today. Chairman Abney couldn't make it, but he's been instrumental as chairman of the Finance Committee, who guided us through the process of numerous hearings, at least a half a dozen over the last 2 years. And of course, my colleagues, 2 freshman rock stars, Representative Jack Baginski and Representative Brandon Potter, who helped me get the votes we needed to push us over the finish line. So thank you both. I was talking to Mr. Vincent about 5-10 minutes before the start of this, and he said to me, I had my doubts that this day would ever come. And I immediately turned to him and I said, I didn't. There was never a doubt in my mind that we would be here today, that we collectively, Governor McKee, Senate President, we would never let these 2 titans not stay in Rhode Island and prosper. I want to personally thank the Senate President, because as we know, all know through the history of this legislation, your 2 companies weren't always together, and it always wasn't a joint proposal. It took the Senate President approximately a year ago to bring the parties together, brought them to the bargaining table, and said, you can both win-win. And it was only after that were we able to craft a deal that enhanced the benefits to the state of Rhode Island. So today's a good day because, as the governor said, today's about jobs, keeping them here in Rhode Island, growing them here, and we look for the success of both of these great companies to continue for 20 years more and beyond. Thank you very much.